Mrs. Gale, what are you doing?
I'm reminiscing.
About what?
Christmas, and the church, and Bryn doing backflips.
Right, shall we get on with the lesson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Hello, boys and... That was a bit too much. Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Mia and Mrs.
Gale.
And we are here to teach you some maths, aren't we, Mrs. Gale?
Yeah.
Should we get started?
Yes, woohoo.
Okay.
So, this morning...
Yeah, carry on.
Gosh, I got the giggles. This morning, we're going to be looking at a bit of arithmetic as a starter. So, what we've got up here is a range of arithmetic questions. We've got some fractions, we've got some long division, and we've got some percentages. So, have a go through those, and if you finish them, you can have a go at some of these other questions here. I'm not going to model anything, I want to see what you can remember. So, off you go, pause the video. Okay, so let's have a little look at our answers so far. So you can self-assess against here. Different questions.
Self-assess?
I can't talk.
Self-assess.
Question 31. Your answer. Miss Mia, you can read that, can't you?
I can indeed.
Go.
So question 31 is 1 1/4. Remember, the answers are going to be in the simplest form as well. Okay, so if you have any equivalent fractions, please do check. Question number 32 is 1/9. Question number 33 is 1 7/40. Question number 34 is 86. Question number 35 is 5/24. And question number 36, percentage, that lovely percentage question, it's 231.
Okay, so if some of you got onto the other ones here, there's some bit of Roman numeral. LXXVI stands for 76. XC111 or III should be technically correct, 93. Okay, few others Roman numerals here. Look at these numbers written in Roman numerals. One is not written correctly. Put a cross on it. And the one that wasn't written correctly was this MCMM. Okay. Fill in the 3 missing whole numbers in this calculation. Each number is less than 10. So you had to have 3 whole numbers. Go on, Miss Mia.
3, 5 and 7. You can have it either way.
And when it's in either part, any one of those boxes, that's called commutative. It doesn't matter what part they're in, it's commutative, so it's absolutely fine. And the last part here, go on, Miss Mia.
This is Gail's boxes. So it says the number sequence follows the rule: subtract 10, then divide by 10. Right, the 2 numbers are missing from the sequence. So when we're working out the number here, if you can see the bucks, we are just following the rule. And for here, thanks, Mrs. Gail. For here, we're working backwards using the inverse. So the answer here is 1,210, and the answer here is minus 0.99.
Okay, so, all right, 3, 2, 1. Hello.
To answer problems involving the maths and money.
So, if you
mentioned maths, haven't we?
We have on the previous video, Miss Mia. So, before you do this particular questions, I would do the conversions and kilograms to grams because it's really, really helpful to understand what that means. So, before we go into anything, Miss Mia, what is maths? Let's just remind ourselves.
Mass is how much something weighs.
Okay, and what units of measure would you use for that?
You can use quite a few different units of measure actually, but the most common ones we use are kilograms and grams.
And that's actually what we're going to be looking at today. And money, obviously, the weight of the coins.
So dollar bills of pounds and pence.
So, go on, Miss Mia, you can read that.
In order to answer this question, we need to revise 2 skills. How many skills, Mrs. Gale?
2 skills. So, the first skill we need to revise is halving decimals. Now, some of you can use the bus stop method. Some of you will be able to do it mentally as well. I will show you both. Okay. So, the bus stop method first. When you're halving decimals, Miss Mia, what are you always dividing by when you halve?
We're dividing by 2.
Okay, so you will be doing here halving it by 2. It would be 12.5 divided by 2. So I do 2's into 1, goes 0, carry the 1. 2's into 12 goes 6. Remember that decimal point. 2's into 5 goes twice, but there's a remainder. And you can't have a remainder because your answer has to be a decimal. So don't forget, you put the 0 there. So 2's into 5 goes twice, and you're carrying 1 over. Okay, and then 2's into 10 goes 5, and there's no remainders there. So half of 12.5 is 6.25. All right.
And some of you might actually know that half of 12 is 6 and half of 0.5 is 0.25. Because if you think about 0.5, that's the same as a half. Half of a half is a quarter.
And that's another way that you can do it. So you can then just add 6 plus 0.25, which would give you a final answer of 6.25.
Slick, Mrs. Gale.
Yeah. So what I want you to do before we move on to skill 2 is I want you to pause the video and I want you to have a go at halving these decimals for me. Okay? Off you go.
6 questions in total, boys and girls. So pause the video here and have a go. Okay, let's go back.
Okay, so let's go through our answers. So Miss May, do you want to read these?
Yeah, so half of 4.5 is 2.25. Half of 16.5 is 8.25. Half of 8.5 is 4.25. Half of 2.5 is 1.25. Half of 6.5 is 3.25. And half of 14.5 is 7.25. You got all the answers correct for once, Mrs. Gale.
Yay!
Hey!
Okay, so just make sure that you can do that skill before we move on to the next skill, okay? If you've made an error there, again, have a look at why have you made the error there, so have a look at what you've done. Skill 2, multiplying decimals. Now, we should be able to do this pretty swiftly, actually. In fact, I'm only just going to model 1 here. I don't think I need to model 2, okay? So let's get rid of that. So this is an arithmetic skill. 3.25 multiplied by 3. We're going to use short multiplication. There's a bit of a lag here. 3.25 multiplied. Where would that 3 go, Miss Mia?
Well, technically it's 3 wholes. So if you were thinking about place value, most children will put it here. But because we're completing this calculation, it goes underneath the
5.
5.
So multiply 3 times. Okay, so 5 times 3 gives us 15, carry the 1. 3 times 2 gives us 6, plus the 1 gives us 7. Decimal point, 3 times 3 gives us 9. Okay, so what that said is 3.25 times by 3 equals 9.75.
And that is the same as 3.25 add 3.25 add 3.25, so a repeated addition, which gives you 9.75.
Okay, and that's a good repeated addition because you could use that as well when we answer the multi-step problem. So what I want you to do is multiplying decimals, skill 2. Have a go at these questions. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, I started from question 7 because we're moving on from 6 to 7.
Okay. Pause the video here.
If you have finished that, have a go at these questions here. So what happens if you switch the multiplier and the multiplicand around?
Oh, very fancy.
Does it make a difference? Explain why. So just to remind you about that vocabulary, if you've forgotten, the multiplier is what you're multiplying it by. Okay, so in this instance the multiplier is 4. The multiplicand is the number you're multiplying, okay, which is 4.35. So I'm asking you, what happens if you switch the multiplier and the multiplicand around? Does it make a difference? And explain why if you finish those. Okay, off you go.
Pause the video, boys and girls. Okay, right, Mrs. Gale, let's hope you've got 2 for 2 and you've got all these answers correct.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You seem a bit nervous.
I am. Should always feel nervous.
Okay, so 4.35 times 4 is 17.4.
Okay.
3.25 times 3 is 9.75. 6.75 times 4 is 27. 5.54 times 6 is 33.24. 4.5 times 4 is 18. 3.5 times 3 is 10.5. 6.5 times 4 is 26. And 5.5 times 6 is, in fact, 33.
So here, just if some of you are thinking I had 33.0, I've just taken that 0.0 off because it's the same as a whole number. But if you had that 0.0 there, that's absolutely fine. You'd still get the mark for that, so don't be put off by that.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Gale.
Okay, Miss Mia, does it matter if you switch the multiplier and multiplicand around?
No, because you mentioned in a previous video, or this video, was it this video? Can't remember,
yeah.
Too many videos, that because when you multiply it has a commutative property, so it doesn't matter which way round you put the numbers, it will always give you the same answer. And that's the same with multiplication and addition.
Yeah.
So they both have commutative properties. It doesn't work for division and subtraction.
Yeah, so that just means that 4.35 is the same as 4 times 4.35 because it's commutative.
And you'll realise that because when you learn your times tables, if you think about 4 times 6, it's 24. 6 times 4 is also 24. So that property, that rule there works.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Mia. Good explanation.
Thanks.
Right, so this is a watch me and then you're going to show me. So now let's apply skill 1 and skill 2. Now, what was skill 1? Can you remember? Yep, it was
Can you
halving.
remember?
Yep, it was halving decimals, and skill 2 was multiplying decimals. So those are the two skills we're going to apply to this question.
You have a stern look when you look
It's
at
just
the
my
camera.
face.
Okay.
It's like my mum's face. Right, so let's have a look at this teacher shared question. This came from a reasoning paper. You'll notice here it's question 9. So normally in a reasoning paper there's about anywhere between 20 and 23 questions. So this is kind of in the middle of the paper, probably slightly more towards the beginning. Okay, when you think about it in terms of questions. So this is definitely a question aimed at the expected standard in year 6. So the mass of a 10p coin is 6.5.
Just bringing it closer, Mrs. Gale, so
Great.
people can see.
Okay, so the mass of a 10p coin is 6.5. The mass of a 5p coin is half the mass of a 10p coin. What is the mass of these coins, 6 coins altogether? And it's a 2-mark question, okay? So let's model it. First of all, the mass of a 10p coin is 6.5. Now, mass we know means the weight, okay? So each one of these coins of 10p's, this is 6.5, this is 6.5, and this is 6.5. Now, the mass of these 5p coins are half of 6.5. Now, if you remember our skill 1, it was halving decimals. And this is exactly what you're doing. Now I'm going to use mental math strategies here because it's quicker. However, if you need to divide it by 2 and do the bus stop method, that's absolutely fine as well.
Well, do you want to show them the bus off method for this one?
So 5 here, what I would be doing here is I'd be doing 6.5 divided by 2. 2's into 6 goes 3. Decimal point. 2's into 5 goes twice. Put that 0 in, remainder 1. 2's into 10 goes 5, okay? So the answer is 3.25. So each one of these 5p coins is a mass of 3.25. Don't forget it's grams, it's not kilograms. Otherwise those coins would be incredibly heavy.
Incredibly heavy.
3.25, I don't know why it's gone red there. And this one's 3.25, okay? I'm just going to get rid of this part here, okay? Just because otherwise it's going to get really cluttered with my calculations. All right, so now I've got all the mass of all these coins. It says, what is the mass of these 6 coins all together? Now I know the term altogether means I must add them all together, okay? Now I could do one large column addition, but most likely in my experience, you're going to make an error in your calculations. What's much easier is actually applying skill 2, okay? So I've got 3 coins here, which are 10p coins. Now some of you will do a column addition, 6.5 plus 6.5 plus 6.5, which is be absolutely fine. But I'm going to be using that skill 2 because I find it a bit quicker. So I'm going to do 6.5 times by 3 because there are 3 10p coins there. 1, 2, 3. Okay,
Okay, I always put in the decimal point first so I don't forget.
that's a good idea.
So 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18 plus a 1 is 9. 19, sorry,
Okay,
not 9.
19.
Sorry,
So-
boys and girls.
The mass of these 3 10p coins here is 19.5
Grams.
grams. Thank you. Now what I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at the mass of the 3 5p coins. When each one is the mass of 3.25. Okay, so I'm going to do 3.25. Do a different colour here. Multiplied by 1, 2, 3. 3 coins. Okay. Good idea with Miss Mia putting the decimal point in, so I don't forget that. Okay, 5 times 3 is 15, carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 1 is 7. Cross it off if you need to. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay?
Can I mention something else, Mrs. Gale? So, for this part of the question, you know that 2 of these 5p coins, when you put them together, gives you the same mass as one 10p coin. So what you could do is 6.5, because that gives you both of these, add 3.25,
Yeah.
and you can do that in your head, because that is also 9.75.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Mia. Good maths.
Thanks.
Now, that's not my final answer, though, is it? Because what I've got to do is, what is the mass of all these 6 coins all together? So I've got the mass here of the total mass of the 10p coins. I've got the mass here, the total mass of the 5p coins. So with these 2 numbers here, I need to add them together. And you'll notice here, there's decimal points. And this has got 1 number after the decimal point. This has got 2 numbers. So I must line up my numbers correctly. So I've got 19.5 here. Add 9.75. Now that 9 is in the ones column here. The decimal point goes here. The 7 goes here. And the 5 goes here. Now some of you will notice there's two blank parts there. You can use the placeholder 0 to fill them in. Okay, that's a good point there. You can put 0 there and a 0 there to fill those placeholders in. So, here we go.
Decimal point first.
Decimal point first. So 5 plus 0 gives me 5. 7 plus 5 gives me 12. 9 plus 999 would be 18, plus the 1 is 19. 1 plus 1 gives me 2. So, the final answer that I put in my box here, what is the mass of all these 6 coins together? My final answer would be 29.25, and actually in this particular instance, they give us the G for grams. Sometimes they don't, and if you put the kilograms, you drop a mark because it wouldn't be the correct unit of measure. There's a lot of calculations in there. Let's just go back that one more time. We had the mass of a 10p coin in the answer to the question here, which was 6.5. I then wrote that next to the coins. The 5p coins, which was half the mass, which we worked out was 3.25.
Using skill number 1.
I then used skill 2 because I find that quicker, but actually there might be different methods that you do that get the same answer, which is fine. I did 6.5 times by 3, 3.25 times by 3. I then added my totals together to give me a final total of the mass of all of the 6 coins, which is 29.25 grams. Okay, so there's a lot of problem solving in that. What I want you to do now is have a look at this question, which is the same question, the same layout. I've just changed the mass of a 10p coin. So this time I've given it a mass of 8.5. You then need to know that the mass of the 5p coin is half the mass of the 10p coin. So what you can do is pause the video at this point, have a work through that on your own, and then I will reveal the answer in a couple of minutes.
If you need to, boys and girls, go back, have a look at Mrs. Gale's explanation of or modelling of the previous question, just to remind yourself of the steps. Okay, so have a look at the question. So it says, once again, the mass of a 10p coin is 8.5 grams. The mass of a 5p coin is half the mass of a 10p coin. We know if we halve something, we divide it by 2. What is the mass of these 6 coins altogether? So you've got 3 10p coins, 3 5p coins. And you need to work out the total. So like Mrs. Gale, over here you might want to label the diagram just to help you.
Yeah, we'll draw out those coins quickly. This might be easier.
Okay, shall we show them the answer, Mrs. Gale?
Your final answer here was 51.25 as a final answer.
Grams.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, so hopefully that's been quite a useful skill and build up to the skills and the applications. Just to remind ourselves, we did halving decimals, we multiplied decimals, we then applied our knowledge to this reasoning question, which is an expected standard for year 6, and then you had to go up doing one yourself. So what I want you to do now is stop the video, go along to our home learning page on our school website and have a look at those maths questions, which are very similar to this style of questions, and have a go yourself.
Okay. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Stay safe. Bye.